Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's the Nerd Talk crew back with another episode of Nerd Talk. We're on episode 160, and I'm here with my awesome co-host, Tyler and Kevin. What's going on, you guys?
I much had a short day at work. Came home, took a nap, watched most of Clown in the Cornfield. Didn't finish it mainly because I didn't care to. I'll finish it later. But fought to the ends of the earth to get tickets for Superman. So that's fun. Thanks, Lincoln Center. Appreciate you. But yeah,
Yes.
doing good.
You do live in one of the most populated cities on the planet, so I mean, I
It was always a uphill battle.
what's going on, Kevin?
Doing good. Not much happened today. Had to do a lot of cleaning, but it all went somewhat well. So, and now we're here.
Same old. Another day at work. Also did some cleaning as well. When I got home, my wife was just cleaning. I said, "Oh, time to jump in. I'm not just gonna let her clean by herself." So, like a huge deep cleaning of the kitchen and the bathroom. Those are the two main places. Once those places are clean, the rest of the house just goes by so smoothly when it comes to the cleaning. So, but yeah, been a very quick day. I'm ready for this week to be over with. But yeah. Enough rambling, guys. Like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. Go check out all of our socials. The links will be in the description below. Now, let's go ahead and get into our first topic of the day. And of course, we got some trailers to talk about. Let's talk about the first trailer we got. And of course, that is Alien Earth. Brand new Hulu series. It's going to be a series, right?
Yes.
Wow, you're actually getting an alien TV show that takes place on Earth. Something we've been waiting for a long time. What do you guys' thoughts on the trailer?
You didn't watch it, did you?
I did watch it, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts first.
I've been very harsh on this show, mainly because they've been putting out nothing but dick teases for the past, what feels like forever. They put out these CG teasers that show me nothing, and everyone's, like, oh man, the show looks so good. I'm like, brother, this isn't footage. This is nonsense. What is this? So we finally got footage for this. It's frustrating because I was excited for the show, but every time they'd be like, hey, there's a new trailer, and it's just CGI nonsense. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to be excited for? So we finally have a trailer with actual footage in it, and lo and behold, when you show me actual footage, I can get excited because this looks fucking raw. This looks fucking raw. I mean, this looks awesome. The one nitpick I have is that we're again going to the formula of, hey, we have to get a thing on the ship. Well, I got a crew of people. Let's go do the thing on the ship. And oh no, when we get on the ship and there's a deadly thing on the ship, and then we got to scream and run away. But the thing is, it's different now because now we have variations of aliens, which I don't know how I feel about that because the last time they did that was Covenant. And I mean, I liked it in Covenant, but I didn't really like the designs of them in Covenant. They were like solid white, and they had like these weird heads, and they just kind of like
popped out
ate you.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't I don't know. It was weird. The Neomorph though in Covenant, that was the shit. You're reminded that Alien Covenant is severely underrated. But yeah, the one thing we did see was that weird fucking 8-legged looking thing. That shit was creepy as fuck. But they mostly showed the Xenomorph, which, as always, my lovely looks as glorious as possible. It looks awesome. It looks very good. It just screams money. I can't believe this is going to be on cable. This isn't a Disney Plus show. It's going to be on cable, and it's crazy to me. It looks great, and again, we just talked about it with Predator on Sunday. Me and AJ. It feels good to know we're in a Alien and Predator resurgence. Hopefully, this leads to a Alien versus Predator movie that is worthy of, existing. But yeah, I love it.
Kevin?
That was a whole lot of stuff. I like the trailer. I think it does present especially as a TV show, I think it can explore a whole lot more than just the normal, oh, we're the ship, aliens here, and we gotta fight for our lives until one person is left. Um, it'll probably follow that same formula, but I am interested to see a lot more of the world building they have potential for it. I was really interested in that beginning part where that mad scientist was like, "Oh, we gotta test stuff, we gotta put stuff," and especially him finding out that there are going to be separate aliens um in that ship that's going to be arriving or they're going to get. I just think that there's a lot of cool potential with this concept. The Ridley Scott, um, he's a hit or miss for me. I always um I thought that a lot of the horror stuff that they tried to fit into this trailer looked really cool. Will it execute well? We'll see. But everything else, it just looks great. I'll probably want to see more, but I am intrigued by a lot of the beginning stuff, especially with all that, with that main doctor that they're working with.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the mix of both of you guys. I did like the trailer. I think it visually looks amazing. I mean, we can give him that. It's really Scott. I mean, of course, his visually is going to look good. But I mean, I kind of felt the same. I wanted to push back because that we're following the same formula we've been following for all these movies, which I guess it worked because it just sets up these characters to be one-off by all these different aliens and stuff. But I mean, it's kind of like we're going through the same thing we've been going throughout this entire franchise. That's the one thing that kind of was like, okay, we're doing the crew all coming together to figure out what's going on, and like they're getting picked off one by one. Like we've seen this so many different times. And that's my one thing. Is like, I like the trailer, but it's just why are we still following the same thing we've been following for the past 40 years with this franchise? But I mean, it works clearly.
You
I
think
mean,
they learned their lesson by now,
I mean, but it clearly it works. I mean, look at Romulus. I mean, so
when people try when they try different things, people tend to not like it.
And that's why I say I can't really say much because clearly it's working. That's why they keep doing it.
You won't hear me complain because I don't like Prometheus. So
yeah. So, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm interested to see how they're going to do the show concept with this property too. That's one thing I'm interested because obviously we're so used to just a 2-hour, long length when it comes to an alien movie. I want to know how they're going to prolong it to what? I guess 10 episodes within this show, 8 episodes. Okay. So I mean, is there enough world building? Yes, there is. I mean, to see how many more aliens, how many xenomorphs, nenomorphs, how many more they can give us in this franchise. I mean, maybe it'll do others. Maybe it'll branch out the other spinoffs, the other movies. I mean, who knows? But I mean, I liked the trailer. I thought it looked good visually, and I just like I said. Am I going to watch it when it comes out? I probably will just wait, maybe just binge it. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. Are we going to cover it on Nerd Talk?
Yeah,
I did not expect us to cover it, so I
wasn't. We'll apply the 3-week rule. If by week 3 it's boring, we won't stop. We won't talk about it until the end.
Yeah, because I didn't expect us to cover it like that. But
well, we need something else to cover, being that The Last of Us isn't coming out for 4 fucking years.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that was on the bracket, but. Well, I guess I have to watch it. It's going to be on Hulu anyway, so I guess I'll be able to watch it. So, but yeah, you guys got any more thoughts on the trailer? All righty, let's go ahead and move on to the next trailer. And we finally got the trailer for Wicked for Good. They premiere, if I'm not mistaken, they premiered this trailer at CinemaCon. People have already seen this footage.
I don't know if it was.
I don't know if this trailer, but they've seen footage from it.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got it. We've been waiting on this because you would expect them to release something. I mean, the movie comes out in November. It's trucking along pretty fast. And the funny that the first trailer we get is a damn near 3-minute long trailer, which is very strange. I don't know what the next trailer is going to be.
They got to make up for lost time.
Yeah, right. But I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on this trailer because I literally just watched them. Like, I gotta watch it because I watched it. I'm like, let me watch it again because I need to watch it again. It looks good. I mean, shit. The first one blew me away. I wasn't really excited for Wicked. I took my wife to see it and I was kind of blown away by it. I need to watch that 4K. I haven't watched it yet. I heard it's really good. But for this one, clearly the music sounds fantastic. Visually, it looks fantastic. I have no guarantee that the 2 leads are going to kill it again in this role. I'm very interested to see the Wizard of Oz side of it. Obviously, we've seen snippets of that in the trailer, how they're going to execute that. Because I'm like, are we actually going to do it, or are we not going to do it? Like, I don't know that much of the Wicked storyline. All I know is obviously the Wizard of Oz. So I don't know how much it's tied into as one story, but I'm really intrigued. Obviously we're all going to go see this movie. You all saw the first one, so. But yeah, overall, I like the trailer. Like I said, visually it looked good. I'm very excited for it.
So Wicked, before I saw it, it looked very good to me, but I wasn't expecting it to be my favorite movie of last year, and it was, especially over Dune Part 2. I thought at a certain point, Dune Part 2 was just a lock for best movie of the year, and that movie kind of came and kicked me in the ass and was like, yeah, no, motherfucker, this is a banger. Nosferatu almost achieved that too. Nosferatu is a banger.
Yeah, watch that too.
I love the first movie. I literally, the day after this trailer came out, I watched the movie again at work, and I love it so much. This trailer, while very good, kind of made me nervous. I think the trailer as a whole is very good. It's a very good trailer. The visuals look, good. If you hated the visuals in the first movie, you're gonna hate the visuals now, which I still don't get that complaint, but whatever. The songs sound fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think this trailer showed way too much. At a certain point, I was like, Jesus Christ, okay.
For sure.
And without a doubt, I am avoiding a second trailer, which I had to do that with the first fucking movie because they put out that little teaser for the Super Bowl and then they released a 3.5-minute trailer that showed the entire movie. This trailer made me nervous because normally when it comes to a part 1, part 2 situation, the first part is the longest. Well, I can't really say that now because of fucking Dead Reckoning Final Reckoning. But the way it should go is the first part is the longest of the two, and then the second part is kind of the payoff of all the setup. This movie, in my eyes, should not be longer than 2 hours.
It's going to be longer than 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 220, guaranteed.
And I don't think it needs to be at all. And I feel like there is a lot going on in this movie. From the trailer, there's so much going on. And the main part that I'm worried about is whatever the Wizard of Oz stuff is. I don't know. I've never seen the play. I don't know anything about that. But
same.
I was watching the trailer and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
There's the shot where he says, "Bring me the broom, the Wicked Witch of the Well." I'm like, oh, so we're doing this. That's a direct line from the Wizard of Oz.
Here's my take. Sorry to interrupt. Here's my take on that whole thing. I think this movie will be long primarily because they're going to try to incorporate the original Wizard of Oz as much as they can in this movie.
I figured that.
Because if we're going to be honest, not that Wizard of Oz isn't like this iconic story that everyone has seen, but it isn't a movie that has come out recently. Recently enough that people who watch Wicked are going to go out and see the Wizard of Oz. As far as I know, it was a prequel, not a prequel that intertwines itself into the main story. So I think they will incorporate a lot of the main Wizard of Oz storyline in it, especially because the story of Wicked, I believe, came out way after
it did.
At least the original book.
It did.
That people, that it's one of those they need to incorporate, kind of change the Wizard of Oz story a little bit. I don't know what the specific plot details were, but that's what I know. So I think that's going to be a lot of their main focus, or at least that's how I would put it. I do feel like this is. I think it's going to be a fun movie. I don't think the first Wicked movie was a lot of setup, and then second movie felt like payoff. The first movie felt very much like a very first half of this story compared to most part 1, part 2s. This felt very much like a first half. Felt like part 2 is going to need to show us a lot more, especially her living life as this wicked witch, and then how Glenda has to live life now, because she looks totally different than how we left her off at the end of the first movie. So I'm very interested to see that. I think this can be as good, if not better, than the first movie, just not based on the trailer, but based on all the different storylines they set up from that first movie, and then just seeing it all in that trailer. My only worry, like Tyler said, is how much of the original Wizard of Oz are going to incorporate and how well paced that's going to be. Because I I don't have a doubt that the Wicked stuff with you know with Glenda and everyone, I don't think that's gonna be bad as far as like pacing wise, because it's strict right from the play. I don't think that's gonna be bad. If they're gonna incorporate the Wizard of Oz, that's the part I'm worried about. Is it gonna be too much for this movie?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a little bit where it's just like, all right, you know the story, we're just gonna leave it at that, or is they're gonna essentially put two movies in one, or at least like
you got to also think that the first one, spoiler if you guys haven't seen it, the first one starts off with
the first movies,
with the ending of the story. Like we get up the movie starts that way. So we clearly know how it ends. We know how this character ends. If you guys have seen Wizard of Oz, clearly, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tyler. You want to say something? You want to say something?
No, I just the other thing I'm confused on, again, I haven't seen the play, so don't hit me with, oh, you fucking idiot, it's in the play. I just the thing that's bugging me in the trailer is, so at the end, spoilers for the first Wicked, I guess. At the end, Glenda and Alpha, they split up and they go do what they got to do. But in this trailer, it looks like they're very much back together and friends. So I think
it's a time jump too.
But like I don't really. The main thing that's frazzling me is how do we get from the end, how do we get from them being friends again to the end of this story? Like, what the hell has to happen?
I don't think that
just killing her.
I think it's gonna be one of those like, oh, it has to happen, situations. Not like Glenda hates Alaba now. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be like,
Well, I don't know. She does take her man. Wish I didn't know. Universal.
Again, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a hate situation. I think it's gonna be like, they both have love for each other, but they know in order for this world to move forward, one of those like, oh, the only way for the world to move forward is if she dies as a villain.
Who knows? Maybe she doesn't hate her at all. She slips on an ice cube and the bucket goes flying. Who knows?
Right. See, that's why I feel like it's going to be the changes. How her character ends. It's not going to be the same way it is in the Wizard of Oz. Because you could say it's kind of cheesy in the Wizard of Oz the way she dies. It's the fact that Scarecrow was burning and she just threw the water to get the water out and it just hits her and that's how she dies. It has to be more climactic in this movie, or it has to be more.
I know it will be
in this movie than the way that it ended in that movie.
Yeah, definitely. Also because you have to make the witch very sympathetic. I don't think they're not going to make her into this harsh villain that you're just like, go ahead and die in a corny way. We don't care about you.
Exactly.
So I think it'll still follow the same suit of just like water falling on her and then just it happens. Probably not as corny as that first movie, but something to that effect. Or maybe it does happen and it's just like, oh, battle happens, splash.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow? But yeah, so you guys got any more thoughts on the trailer? All right, you guys. If you guys have seen the trailer, let us know what you guys thought about in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and move on, obviously, to our main topic of the day. The reason why you guys came here, we're here to talk about Ballerina from the world of John Wick. Ballerina. What are you guys' thoughts on it? I ended up not doing a review. I ended up seeing it late, so my wife had to go to the hospital Friday, so I couldn't go see it Friday. So I ended up going to see it Sunday, and my theater was pretty low. It wasn't that many people in the theater. I did go see it earlier, but I did end up not making a review just because how my day went. But what are you guys' thoughts on the movie?
You give your thoughts. I put out a review.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. So I really enjoyed the movie. I really liked the movie. It's a solid 4 out of 5. Kind of the same run-of-the-mill thing we've been going through with this franchise. Ana de Armas, I think she killed it in the role. I'm ready to see more of her, though. I'm ready to see what they do with her character more. And like I said, visually, of course, it looks amazing. The violence, the gung fu, just the choreography, all that stuff was just done very well. You can definitely tell that they had to go back and put that stuff in there. It kind of felt like that watching the movie. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. The villain was not very good, at least in my opinion. I think it's a very lackluster villain. But at the end of the day, we don't go for that. We go to see, these characters kick ass. That's what we go see. At the end of the day, dialogue wise, we don't go there for the dialogue. We don't go there for much of the writing. We go there for the action. And I think they delivered on the action. The way the movie shot, the locations, all that stuff. I think they did a really good job with all that. It definitely feels like it's in the world of John Wick, and I'm very happy they accomplished that. And I'm like I said, I'm ready to see more of this character, see what they do with her. So obviously, the way the movie ends, you could definitely tell they're doing more with her. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, man. I liked it. I did. I didn't get to see this till Friday because I went to go see The Weeknd on Thursday, and I don't know how I was functioning Friday morning, but I liked it. I think it did what it needed to do correctly. It surely stumbled. We'll talk about that, but I think this kind of set a positive blueprint for how to do a spinoff in the John Wick universe. The things that needed to be right were fine. There were a couple of things that they needed work on, but I think if they do a sequel and they don't bring back Lynn Wiseman and they just bring back the person that knows what the fuck he's doing, they can make it a better outing. Not that this was bad. I still like this more than John Wick Chapter 3, but I enjoyed this. This was a fun time. It kind of bums me out that I was thinking, I was like, should I go see it again? And I was like, I kind of don't want to. Whereas John Wick Chapter 4, I saw that movie 3 times in the theater. So that kind of bummed me out. I was like, no, I'll wait until the 4K comes out. Which that kind of bummed me out. I wanted to be a little bit better than that. But I liked it overall. It could have been worse.
For sure. Kevin.
All right. Y'all can do your criticism shit. I fucking loved it. This was awesome. The only thing that I will critique, because it's really very small, is that someone mentioned it in the review, and I kind of agree with it, that they try to make you sympathetic in like a way of why what was her character? Eve's character needed to go after this person. And that I felt like the father bit was fine. I really liked it, but it was like very short lived. Where it's just like, I get it. We're viewing this through the lens of, oh, she's a kid. She doesn't know what's really going on. But I was like, I came out of that scene and I was just like, I mean, cool, I guess. Her father died. I don't really. There's not much to care for him, but like, sure, go ahead. And I guess now that I think about it, another critique is that Daryl Dixon's character. I'm not Daryl. Norman Reedus' character.
Daryl Dixon.
Listen, he was not Daryl Dixon in that movie. God damn, bro. He had nothing to do in that movie. I was disappointed. I was like, damn, he's gonna kick ass. He did nothing. Other than that shotgun bit, but I thought he would have a bigger role. And yeah, other than that, I loved it. I thought everything was great. All the action was great. The world building, I was in the beginning, I'm just like, I mean, cool, I guess. Not really. I didn't come here for this. I didn't come here for this bit, so I did feel like that kind of dragged on a little bit, but it wasn't like detrimental to the movie, in my opinion. The action was fucking phenomenal. There were a lot of scenes where I'm just like, oh, okay. See, like Tyler even texted me while I was watching. I was just like, yo, what the fuck is she doing? And Tyler was like, oh, she might be crazier than John Wick. I'm like, this is rookie Eve,
right?
And we're going up against like what lost John Wick. What the hell did prime John Wick do?
Right. Yeah.
What
he killed someone with a pencil. I mean,
fucking pencil.
That's old man John Wick. We gotta talk about prime before he got married. I don't know. I need to figure out what happened there. John Wick. Speaking of him, he was very much short. I did not care for him one bit during this movie. It felt like he helped Eve a little bit too much at the end, where I'm just like, guys, we can live on without it. We don't need John Wick in this movie. But I guess they gotta do their stuff. Overall, this was a great movie. I loved it. The action was great. I could come back and watch it again if I wanted to, but it's kind of how it is.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna. Obviously, I'm gonna wait for it on 4K. I'm definitely putting the Steelbook from Amazon because I think I like the way that one looks better than the blue one.
I love it. It's purple too.
Yeah, I knew you would like it because it's purple. That's why I said I know which one Tyler's picking. But yeah, so how do you want to go about this? Do you want to just go bit by bit, or you want to just
Go beat
talk
for
favorite
beat. It's
moments?
short.
Yeah.
It's short and can kind of summarize a lot of the stuff. So movie starts. We get a introduction to Eve and her father, who we find out is, I guess, he's in within the assassin world, if you will. Um, and we get this action sequence where these guys are coming to take. Well, it looks like they're coming to take him, and then we find out they're going after Eve. But we get this action sequence that it reminded me of, even though it's not really a new director. We'll talk about that later. Um, fast. We got Fast and Furious, Fast X, and we got that elevator action sequence in the beginning, which I love that action sequence. But it just reminded me of that because it was like, oh, here's a new director. Let me show you guys that I can direct the action just as well as the previous people. And again, I don't know who directed this action sequence, but it was a good action sequence nonetheless. I was like, oh, okay. It was very long, which surprised me, but it was that John Wick action where it was long, it was wide, it was chaotic, it was cool.
At least you can see everything too. I love that you actually know. Like, I'm so happy we're not doing that shaky cam bull crap. Like, we see everything. It was nicely lit. It wasn't like too dark. And he kicked ass, man. He did. Like, he kind of looked like John Wick in like silhouette a little bit with the hair and everything too.
Good stuff. So the villain comes out, and in a nutshell, he's like, "Yeah, I want Eve," and she says her dad's name, and then the action scene keeps going, and they all get out, and then her dad gets shot, and we cut to they're in the hospital, and her father's dead, and we get Ian McShane's character saying, "Oh, like in a nutshell, I'm sorry for your loss. I can't undo the fact that he died, but I can help you, live with it and move on." And she's holding on to this ballerina thing. And
the whole time, even while he was fighting, she's still holding on to it.
They never really said what the symbolism for that was, but he takes her to the Muscaroma, which we saw in John Wick Chapter 3, and we see did they confirm if that lady is his mom, John Wick's mom?
No.
Okay. Well, the lady that helped John Wick in Chapter 3, she talks to Eve.
I think it's more the same way like how Eve got put in there. Like, I think she's like, it's like that. I don't think that's actually John Wick's mother. I think John Wick was brought into that, house or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, he was raised by her.
We get this lady telling her, you need to become something darker, in a nutshell, and tells her you need to become the Kikimata. And she says, what, like the boogeyman? And I was like, okay, I guess.
No, it's Baba Yaga.
It's the girl version. I mean, it's cool, but I was just like, it's the girl version of John Wick, I guess. Okay. So we see her training and doing all her stuff, and they intersplice her training with a scene from John Wick Chapter 3 where he's getting the ticket ripped with, which they showed her performing on the stage, and I thought we were going to see John walk in.
That's why I thought I thought they would. It's funny because I think most likely it's either before or after that scene. It has to be after, I guess.
Because in John Wick Chapter 3, they show the scene where he walks in and presents the ticket to her. They don't show the girl on the stage. So I was watching Chapter 3, I think the day before, or the day we did the watch along for 4, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool if they had it be that she was on the stage. That would be cool, but they didn't do that. So they meet up, Eve and John, Keanu Reeves and all his glory.
Yeah.
Which he did not get any of in this movie, unfortunately.
I liked his lines that he gave in this scene where I mean, like, she basically asks, like, hey, how do I get out of here? He's like, the front door. It's open. You can just walk out of here. And it's like, she's like, no, I don't want to leave. I want to do what you do. And he still said the same thing. You need to get out of this. You don't need to do this. And then I did like this line too. She asked, so how did you get out? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But yeah, he's literally working on it in this moment.
Mm-hmm. So they give her an assignment, which it's kind of like the first, thing we see of her like actually in the field, to where she has to go get this girl at this club. I think it was called -11, something like that. So, of course, they said, "Well, it's John Wick. We got to have action in a neon nightclub," which never changed. So Eve shows up to this bar and sees
like a straight badass walking through that tunnel too.
Sees the girl she's got to get dancing with these weirdos, and she realizes that there's like a whole bunch of people there. So she goes up to them, tries to get the girl, and they just start kicking the shit out of Eve, which I was like, oh, okay. So they're not going to treat her any differently. She's going to take hits, which I don't know how much of this Ana de Armas did. I'm assuming it was a lot because she kept promoting it, but
yeah,
I got to give her credit where credit's due. She was amazing in the stunts. I mean, I thought she
kicked around, thrown around, like
she was getting thrown around. And I think they took advantage of the fact that she's younger than Keanu Reeves, because they were fucking throwing her around like crazy. And I like how for some reason they gave her only rubber bullets, and she's like, rubber bullets? The fuck? But it was a great action sequence, man. It was nice and wide. You could see everything that was going on. It was hard hitting. Even with rubber bullets, people were taking hits. I was like, damn. So I think she gets the girl, right? She gets the girl, and then
she does get the girl. Yep. I mean, we also missed the part. So she's fighting. I guess it's funny. The guy that was going after her actually shows up, so that's why she ends up going to get her. But like she's fighting the guy, and it gets to a point where she literally can kill him, and she doesn't do it. Like she does the fake out and hit the side of his face, which at some point I thought she was just going to end him, but no, she didn't do it. Because she actually took her job seriously, whereas I'm not going to kill. My job is to save this girl, and that's what I'm going to do. I did like that as well. So
I think she goes back, and one of her friends that was there, the lady that was helping her, she said that she sent her away. She was like, oh, she didn't have the potential, which I firmly believe, because she was sitting there, oh, I want to be a dancer.
So she want to be a ballerina,
be a dancer, not a killer, bro.
And we forgot to talk about some of her training moment. What y'all think about the little training montage? And we got to see, that she had like protect the person and all that stuff. I liked all that stuff.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. I liked all that stuff. I wish we got more of it, and I'll talk about that in a second. But they take her into this room to do a test, and they bring in some random girl, and she's like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? I'm a test. And I like how she tells her, oh, you don't know who I am. I'm you in the next 5 years. And I kind of like that they were showing like, the whatever this, I forgot the name of it. It's such an easy name, but this group, they seem all high and mighty, but they're not, which I don't know if I love that, because they put such an emphasis on that in chapter 3 and 4 that they are, but then we're seeing like, oh no, they're kind of sneaky and dirty. So it's like,
I think that's just a facade that we think they are, but underneath it's not what it is.
Well, I mean, I guess, the Continental in them, they aren't so clean either. We see that in chapter 3.
Right.
So it's this test to where they have to build a gun and then shoot the person. So Eve builds the gun, and then she hesitates, and then the other girl builds the gun really fast, and then she shoots her anyway. And they say, "Oh, all right, you're ready. Fuck it, let's go." And they finish up her back tattoos or whatever. And then we just cut to 6 months later or something.
A time jump, yeah.
I did not like that at all. I was very interested in seeing her train and build herself up and see her develop. Seeing her go from baby pupil Baba Yaga or Kikimata, whatever, to just under John Wick, I was like, what the fuck? Why? I didn't understand that. And then we get the aftermath of a scene. I'm like,
Yeah, we only she
hello?
literally killed all these guys. Everyone is dead. Literally, everyone is dead. And I love that she's going throughout the whole entire scene, just grabbing the knife that she
Yeah, that
threw at
was
all these
cool.
guys, just grabbing all the knives. Like, oh, I gotta grab that. And then she almost gets an elevator. Oh no, I forgot a knife. Let me grab this knife from this guy. I agree with you to an extent. I kind of wish the movie would have started this way, like the first thing we see is her do all this, and then we go back to this moment. Like maybe we go back into flashbacks, and then we get the montage of her doing all this stuff. Then we jump back to this scene. I guess that's what like a Deadpool thing. Deadpool did the same type of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they would have did it this way. And yeah, I know John Wick isn't big on doing flashbacks and stuff, but this would have been different. I mean, it's not John Wick. This is a different person, this is a different character, different story. So I wouldn't have mind if they just formatted it different. Because you know, I kind of agree with you because I kind of wish we would have seen her do more other than just we get one mission and then we jump and she's a straight badass. Like, oh well, I kind of wish we would have seen more, seen her do more. But
Mm-hmm. So she gets attacked outside the nightclub, which this was great. This was a nice little. I think it was a little goofy how she gets out of the car and she's like sliding up against the car. I was like, okay.
I mean, it comes out of nowhere because when we skip the scene where she gets out of the elevator and the guy asks her like, "Were you stuck in the elevator?" And she says, "Yes, it was so scary." And I was so scared. But when she gets out, she just gets in the car and just randomly gets hit. I said, "Oh snap!" I didn't see that coming. I thought the scene was about to end. I didn't think that she was about to get rammed by another car, and then it started another shootout. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was just another way, like, oh yeah, she just that smart. Where I'm gonna just get out of the car and slide and wait for you to stop, and then take you guys out.
So one of the guys she kills has like the same mark that I guess one of the dudes that killed her dad had. So she goes back to the lady and is like, "Oh, you knew where they were the whole time or something, and you didn't tell me." And she gives her some bullshit speech, and she's basically like, "All right, I clearly you're not going to help me, so I'm going to get it from somebody else." So goes to the Continental. See Lance Reddick one last time. Sharon, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
So glad that they got him one last time. Which I guess they filmed this before Chapter 4, or
right?
Right after Chapter 4. This is one of really the only benefits of the pandemic was that they were able to do this, because of delays with John Wick, and all that stuff. So nice to see him. Wish he was in it a little bit more, but I'll take what I can get. So she goes and meets with Ian McShane's character, and Ian McShane basically tells her where to go without actually telling her where to go.
Right.
And he gets the phone call of "Oh, is she here?" And she's like, "Yeah." It's like, and John Wick shenanigans. So she ends up going to he gives her the details on somebody that has a bounty that's relating to this cult, and of course it's Norman Reedus, and when I saw that I was like, "Oh, okay, that's neat." And he's basically like, "Yeah, they're after him, so if you find him you'll find the cult and stuff like that." So, and I forgot where the Continental was, the one that she had to go to. Prague. It was in Prague, which I loved. I want to see. I would take.
It's where the first Mission Impossible was filmed at.
I would take
opening Mission Impossible.
I'd take like a YouTube short series that's like 10, 15 each. Show me every single Continental from across the world, bro. I don't care. I love seeing the Continentals from different areas of the world. Like we see one, the Italy one in Chapter 2. We see the Rome one in. Well, no, we don't see one in. No, we see the God, why is it spacing
Which
on
one
him?
Halle Berry is in? Because doesn't Halle Berry doesn't she run a
Well,
Continental?
we don't see it,
Oh,
like the
okay.
actual hotel. We just see
Right.
them in her area. But we see the
So
Osaka
1
one
and 4.
in chapter 4, which is
Yeah.
still the best one.
That's
That
probably
shit
how I
love.
said. That's the best one for sure.
But I love, like, she was like, yeah, you gotta go to this continent. I'm like, yay, we get to see another one. Cool. I'd love to see like what the India one looks like. They'd probably be the nicest continental on earth. Welcome to the continental. So
Maybe that's what they should do for future spin-offs. Make more spin-offs in the world, because for fuck John Wick 5. Give us more John Wick spin-offs. Let's see what this world can be.
I've been preaching that for the choir. Like I think John Wick's story is over. We don't need more Keanu Reeves.
Yo, I saw
we don't need more Keanu
and
Reeves.
then
We had enough of him, bro.
And then the director come out and say, "Oh, let me try to figure out how to make sense of John Wick coming back." There is no making sense. The brother's dead.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's just,
no.
I mean, to me, his story concluded, man. Like, there's no other reason for him to come back. He has no close things that could, he came back out of retirement because someone came into his house and killed his dog. Like, what else is there? Like, his wife is gone. Like, he has long lost kids or something. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
He's gonna come back and be like, "Yeah, I guess I'm back."
Yeah, I have a son.
That child support is a bitch. I'm back.
I have a son. I have to protect my son.
They took my son.
It's gonna be the next Liam Neeson moment.
Right.
Hey, man. Son. Listen, that doesn't sound so bad. I'm just saying, bro. So she goes to this Continental, meets up with, she's going through the lobby and everyone's giving her like weird fucking looks and shit. Oh no, well, I didn't talk about this. They kind of elaborate on what this group is, and he tells her, like, yeah, they're a group that they operate outside the rules of the table.
Right.
Everything's under the table. The table.
Well, have they said that they're a cult? Has that been mentioned yet? Okay, yeah, that's the difference, that they're a cult,
and they don't give a fuck about the rules. Clearly, we see that in a little bit,
right?
But she's walking through this hotel and everyone's giving her ugly eyes, and she goes into this room and somebody's looking at her through sniper rifle, and she jumps across to get into Norman Reedus' room, and we find out that he has a kid, which I'm glad they hid this because I didn't know this. I was like,
I didn't know this either, yeah.
And Norman Reedus is in there, and he looked like he just came off the set of The Walking Dead.
For sure.
What are you doing?
For sure. He has the same hairstyle.
He got the same damn clothes on. Like, at this point,
bro, change it up a little bit. What are you doing in here? Who told you I was in here? Like, all right, I love you, man, but come on.
listen. After that shoe, he had to go straight back to The Walking Dead set.
And you're probably right.
Well, no. Now he's doing his own show, so yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So they reveal that he was in this cult, or he reveals that he was in this cult, but that he gets out and he's being hunted, and they put a bounty on Eve. No, they say something.
He has increased the bounty. Increased the bounty because they found out someone might be trying to take him out. So they increased it just to push the lever up so they can just go do it.
He was like, "Well, I'm fucked now."
Right.
And they bust through the door and they start doing business on Continental. That's the first thing that went into my head. I said, "Oh, somebody's dying." Because what the fuck? Everybody's on business on Continental. It's about to go down.
But it took me at the end of that. Obviously, I'm jumping ahead, but I'm not jumping ahead. When she's taking out certain people, she's not killing anyone. And she knows that because she knows the rules. If you watch the scene again, she's clearly not trying to kill anyone. She's just trying to just hurt them or knock them out.
Yeah. We get a cool action sequence. Another cool action sequence. The highlight of the action sequence for me was her nearly beating somebody to death with a TV remote. I'll never look at this the same way ever again. which was cool. I liked how she was hitting her with it, and the show was flashing on the TV. I was like, I love the John Wick sense of humor. It's hilarious. Norman Reedus was doing his thing in here. I'm glad, even though he wasn't in the movie much, he got something to do.
Right.
I knew he wasn't just gonna show up and be like, all right, I'm going to fill the Walking Dead. I'll see you later.
That's probably exactly what happened. He was like, all right, you got this much time with me. All right, I got to go back to film Walking Dead.
So they end up outside and they get ambushed by the villain from the beginning of the movie. And they make it look like Norman Reedus died, which, I mean,
yeah.
I felt no different or non-different from this point to the end of the movie where we jump ahead and we see he's alive. I was like, oh okay, I guess. Because to me, that this kind of was driving the movie when he dies. I was like, oh, okay, so they kill him and then they take the kid and, do what they got to do. I was like, that kind of drives the movie. Then they reveal he was alive. I'm like, well, okay. It's like the thing that's driving the movie is now gone. But so, I forgot what happens after this.
Well, we know Eve gets knocked out as well after she sees Norman Reedus get hit, and not gonna say he gets shot, but he doesn't die. Now the kid gets taken, so she goes on the prowl now to try to find out where this cult is. That's where she goes to the gun hangar, the gun place. And so she gets ambushed again. Yeah.
So she goes to meet up with this guy, which I feel like I've seen him before. Well, I don't remember his face. Or I don't remember where he was from. But we get the typical John Wick montage. I want power. Oh, you want to use this gun. It's got such. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh!
Yeah, I didn't expect this.
I liked it. Caught me off guard. I was like, oh. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. And the shop gets blown to all hell. Then Eve... she finds a little thing called grenades.
Well, the fact that she sees all the weapons and they're out of date and she can't really use them. So she has no choice but to use the grenades because she can't use no weapons.
When I tell you, I was fucking flabbergasted by some of the shit I seen in this movie. This woman is out of her fucking mind.
Bruh.
She's over here punching people in the throat and proceeding to throw grenades in their mouths. And just kicking them and they go flying and do what your imagination will do after that.
There's literally a scene where she's fighting a guy, jumps behind, kind of like chokes him, but like jumps over him with the grenade in his mouth, and his whole body just evaporates, bro.
Yo,
like, oh my god.
That was the most violent one because we saw it, but the one that
he stuck him in the door.
Yes,
behind the door.
We didn't see the aftermath, but I was like, "That's fucking hilarious."
But we see the hole in the door, and she walks through the hole.
That was great. I loved that. I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm telling you, this is why I say she's crazier than John Wick, and I'm not saying it to be funny. I genuinely mean it because John Wick, as fucked up as he is, he's very calculated in what he does. He's very tactical. This bitch, an explosive. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. No hesitation. And I'm just like, bro, this bitch is crazy, bro.
She acts very instinctively. That's what I noticed. For John Wick, like you said, a lot of it is very calculated. You can tell that he's thinking, despite how crazy it is, he's thinking about every move. Ballerina, Eve, she's just like, all right, I see a grenade. I see a desk. Let me do this.
Bro.
And boom, the explosion comes off on the other side of the table. Like, what? Yeah, you don't think about that stuff on the spot.
She's trying to get out of that situation as quick as possible.
There was one part, I forgot what happens, but it was one of the only parts in the movie that, like, an explosion happens near her, and she just goes flying. I said, all right, bro, what? That's... okay. I guess every one of these movies has to have one of those, like, come on moments.
Even for John Wick, what is this?
Yeah. So this all ends, and she goes back to the dude. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about your shop." And this part I had to call bullshit on because he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know anything about those guys." And then after the scene, so if you just look right here, this is where they're at. I'm like, motherfucker, what? You were just gonna let her walk blindly? Like, right. Bro, come on, that's fucked up. So she goes to this place, this restaurant, And I feel like
and a fresh ass Mustang, I might at
yeah,
that.
and she knew she kind of knew something was up or whatever. Uh, this dude pulls up and you see this mom take her kids like, oh come on, let's go, and they kind of make you believe like, oh something, it's like something's not right, something's going on, and dude walks in and he immediately starts shooting at Eve and all this crazy shit. So she's fighting him, and all of a sudden, everybody and their fucking mother is just pulling up to this restaurant, and they reveal, oh yeah, she walked into the town from Resident Evil 4 in a nutshell, to where everyone is out of their fucking minds and everyone is just a lunatic. And some might say, oh well, they're under the cult. Nah, bitch, that town was the cult. They're fucking crazy, which I like the idea of that. That, basically from here until the end, it's just straight hands, basically. And this kind of goes into the problem I have with this movie, and it's that there is so much action in this movie. And some might say, well, why are you complaining about that? That's what you came for. Yes, but the problem is it does not feel like there is time to breathe really at all. I feel like, for those who don't know, I'm gonna get into nonsense. This movie was directed by Len Wiseman, and it was reported a while ago that Chad Stahelski, who directed the other four John Wick movies, had to come in and reshoot a large portion of this movie to add in more action sequences because Lionsgate was not happy with it. Now, on the one hand, all of the action in this movie is amazing. So, in that regard, yeah, he did what he had to do. He did a good job. But on the other hand, it feels like this movie is so baseline and just flat that without its action, it not so much without its action, but not without the amount of action, this movie just crumbles to the ground. And to me, I kind of don't like that. An action movie should be able to stand on its own without the amount of action that it has. I feel like the action in this movie was kind of like a band-aid, to where like they were like, oh, the movie's not great. Just throw in as much action as you can so that way people forget how mid the story is.
Going back to the scene, did you guys recognize the guy that she was fighting in this scene?
No.
This is an actor they reused
From
the first John Wick movie. He fights Keanu Reeves in the club scene.
Mm.
It's the same actor. I looked at, said he looks familiar, and he's in the first John Wick movie.
Well,
and I think he dies in the first John Wick.
That's his twin brother.
Yeah, right. But
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't kill everybody in the first.
I just had to throw that out. But I think he kills that. He kills that guy in the first movie. But they brought him back in this movie, and he dies again. He dies twice in the same franchise. But yeah, this whole scene was insane because I had the same moment where, like you said, the lady goes out with the kid, and then she comes back with a shotgun. I said, oh, everyone is equipped to kill someone in this town. And then we get the girl where she cries for help. Hey, come help. And then she brings out a knife and she says, I'm not going to hurt you. And then she just start attacking her. I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, that bitch is so fucking dumb, bro. She's so goddamn annoying. I could not stand her, bro. My theater, when she finally died, my whole theater clapped. We were just like, finally, thank you, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Speaking of which, she had a standout sequence in this movie, which I loved. I love the John Wick humor in the action sequences. They're scrimmaging, and they end up on the floor, and there's a bunch of plates on the ground.
Yeah,
and the gun falls under the pile of plates, so they just start smacking the shit out of each other with the plates. And I love this was kind of a callback to the glass part in chapter 3, or the knife part in chapter 3, where they just start throwing knives at each other over and over again. I actually saw this part before the movie came out, and I was like, yeah, that's the John Wick stuff. I like that. They just were smacking each other over the head with plates until they find the gun and she shoots her. I thought that was cool. That was fun. This So I think this ends and she ends up getting captured. Well, no, she goes out
She goes through the town and starts taking
Yeah,
people out.
which again, it was a very long. This was probably the end was cool. The end was very cool, but this was like probably my favorite part of the movie. Yeah, from the part where she gets attacked in the diner all the way to the end of this, I was like, it felt like chapter 4, to where it was like
Yeah.
a very long action sequence, but
This-
it just like it kept going and it was cool.
It felt like a straight video game. I swear to God. Like it's just like you're getting away from you're trying to get to an objective, and all the NPCs are trying to kill you, and she has no choice but to kill everyone.
Yeah, these people were like, "Oh, get the kids inside," and they proceeded to die. And I'm like, "Well, your mom is dead, your dad is dead, your mom is dead. Good job, parenting, everybody." So eventually, she gets captured, and it doesn't last long. And they reveal that one of the girls that was hunting her is her sister. Oh, oh no! My entire viewing experience was changed so much by this reveal. I was like, okay, let's see what we. Oh no, she's dead now. Okay. So Eve breaks out, and they both break out, and they go to this house. They talk for like 0.5 seconds before they throw grenades in the house. They were both the same amount of distance from the grenades.
Yeah, this is the scene you're talking about.
But
And she doesn't get hurt, but her sister just dies.
Dies. I was like,
which I when I thought, so we see that, I can't even think of the guy's name, but he orders them to just kill both of them, like just take both of them out. And I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna get a moment where both of them are going to go out and help each other. That's what I thought we were gonna get. I didn't think she was just going to die in this moment. I thought we were gonna get at least one scene of them together taking out guys, and then she dies. Okay, but she just dies from a grenade explosion. It's like, oh, that was quick.
so yeah, she dies, and she's in the town, and she's on the run, and the villain is like, oh, kill her on sight, no hesitation. And the villain calls up the lady that was helping her and goes, oh, I have a problem. And they had a pass. They're like, let's come to an agreement. And she goes, oh, I'll send somebody to take care of this. Would have been nice if I didn't see this in the fucking trailer.
I'm glad I didn't see the trailer.
Lionsgate.
Which I knew exactly who she was going to call, because like, oh, it's only one person that she would know that would be able at least to do it, and that she know will succeed in doing it. And of course, that would be the Baba Yaga. And of course, when this man shows up like the motherfucking Grim Reaper, he walks off the train and just walks casually, like no one in this town can fuck with me, and they know it, because once they find out, they say, everyone back up, it's handled. They immediately say, no one kills her, it's under control.
Which, listen, I very much like John Wick in this movie. I'm fine with it. He actually has my favorite part of this movie, truth be told. But the timeline thing. So this movie takes place between chapter 3 and 4. Where the fuck in this movie, in this timeline, is this after 3? Because I think Jeremy Jones was like, oh, so does this take place after 3? After they throw him off the roof and he's rebuilding himself? That right. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
So where the fuck? How? I don't understand. Like, was he coming back from the desert and they called him up and was like,
yeah, I feel like this takes place exactly right before chapter 4, because in the beginning of chapter 4, he's obviously he's fit. He's getting himself together.
He looked fine here. He didn't look hurt.
Right. That's why I said I think it takes place like right before it. Like it has to be right before, or
so
at
what
least.
Do you think? She called him, went on the train, came back, started training again, and then.
No, this is after the training. This is after that. I think this is after we see him. This is before we see him in the desert. This is before that.
Maybe.
I think we are better suited off not trying to figure out.
Right.
Because honestly, watching that whole movie, I was thinking to myself, oh, so this takes place kind of in the same time as the third movie. Not after the third movie.
But it doesn't.
During the third movie.
Isn't that right? We get the time jump after that. After that scene. It's a time jump. So
that's why I say
it's after chapter 3.
I think what happens is So the part where he cuts his finger off in the desert, I think they give him a new suit and everything. He's fine. I think on his way back to New York, this happened, and then
So this is before he gets thrown off the roof.
yeah, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. That would make sense. So he has time to go to Prague before he goes to New York.
Yes.
No, he's there, but they're not in Prague. They're somewhere else. Yeah, they're another location. I don't know exactly where the location is because they never really tell us where they're at because it's a cult. So of course we probably don't know where they're at. But it's definitely not in the States. It's not in the States. It's in another country. It's overseas.
Well, I mean, he was overseas.
Right.
He was in Italy.
You're right, because he took a train. He gets off on a train. So yeah, that can make sense that he took a detour before he got to New York. I can see that.
I don't know. I think it's just a weird thing that they're like, yeah, like I don't understand why they couldn't just say, yeah, it takes place between 1 and 2. That one I can kind of believe. Sure, you have to take out a scene in the beginning, but I can believe that more than it takes place between 3 and 4. Because there's so much shit happens.
I think the only reason why they say that because we got the scene in chapter 3 where he goes meet her.
That's what I'm saying. They would have to take out a scene, but I'll sacrifice a scene for it making sense.
No, because I like that interaction between John Wick and Eve. I like that scene, so I wouldn't want them to. I wouldn't want that out of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, John Wick and Eve. John Wick. This movie went under reshoots. All the reshoots.
You can tell.
Point to him. Without question. Other than the action sequences being padded in. All the reshoots. Mr. Wick. Am I complaining? Fuck
no. No.
I don't give a shit. Because it was awesome and I never once was like, I'm annoyed by this. I didn't give a shit. I saw it in the trailer. I loved it in the trailer. I loved it here. Who cares?
I'm glad I didn't see it in the trailer.
Goes up to Eve and it's like, basically in a nutshell, like, you need to stop this. I'm here. They sent me here to stop you. I'm not gonna kill you, but just walk away. You still have time. You can walk away. And they get into it. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My favorite part about this whole sequence before you talk about it is that there were like at least three different times where John Wick could have just finished the job right then and there.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is the movie's way of saying John Wick is still that guy. And not only that, Eve, she is not on the same plane as John Wick. Because I'm just like,
definitely not.
I was like, is she really gonna like best him in some way that you're just like, oh, she's gonna be him in some sort of way? Then during that whole sequence, I'm like, no, Ballerina, Eve, you cannot take him on, bro.
No,
please,
and I think he knows it too. I like he does kind of just hesitate. He's like, just leave.
He didn't even hesitate. He was just like, yo, he just stopped and he was just like, please leave.
Yeah, right.
I am not in the mood to kill you because I will if I could.
Yeah.
Like there is no getting out of this. Just get out, leave, and I won't have to kill you.
I liked. There was one part of this that I really liked where he tackles her through one door and then she tackles him through another door. I was like, I love the. I would keep saying it because I do. I love the John Wick sense of humor in the action sequences. Like it's just fucking funny to me. Like especially when I noticed right before I was about to. I was like, oh, they're gonna go through the other. Yeah. Basically, she gets away. And
well, he let her go.
Well, yeah. But
he's like, you got till 12 to finish the job. You don't finish it, I'm taking you out. And then what she say? Rules, consequences.
That was the one Keanu line. I was like, oh, Keanu.
There's actors, and there's bad actors, and then there's Keanu Reeves, guys. That's all I have to say. It's Keanu Reeves, bro.
So we get our elaborate third act. A very good third act, very fun. I liked the third act of this movie very much. She's getting attacked and she launches into this room and she finds more grenades and a flamethrower.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
She opened the box and says, "Cool," which, for lack of a better word, I thought was cute. I was like, oh, she's so cute. She's gonna fuck all these people up. She's so cute. Wait, I mean the guys chasing her had flamethrowers too, but she found one of her own.
Mm-hmm.
I loved, I absolutely loved the reveal that she had the flamethrower. It's pitch black, and she presses it,
Yeah,
and
you
they're like,
hear it. You hear it.
she presses it, and they said, "Oh
You
fuck,"
just see a whole
and
thing full of fire. Just
it is barbecue. Um, I love this. This was awesome. She set ablaze everyone and their mother, and she was
kind of
still
like
taking dudes out with the guns
it's
too.
kind of like the dragon breath
Yeah. Oh,
scene in chapter 4.
I don't know, man. This might have been more creative and unique, even though the Dragon Breath sequence is all timer for the franchise. Yeah, she was setting people on fire and shit. You know, it was very fun. It was a very fun action sequence. I like that they use something we don't normally see in action sequences, like a flame in action movies, like a flamethrower. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead, go crazy. Um, then her thing runs out, and the other guys still have flamethrowers because they're not using it like fucking crazy. So she thinks, oh, how do I combat this? She finds a fucking water hose.
Yeah, right. Out of all
A
places,
fire hose.
she finds a fire hose. Like, what?
So I was like, sure. And she walks out very similarly to Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is still like the best third act like stinger probably ever. I had like I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with like 5 people in the theater, and we all like erupted and cheered when that happened. That was awesome. And she shoots the fire hose at him while he's shooting the flamethrower. This was the most anime shit I've ever seen in an action movie in my fucking life, and I absolutely loved it.
They both are screaming at each other. Ah!
This is what the Netflix live action of Avatar should have been.
This was awesome. It was awesome. And I think in the end, John Wick ends up shooting the dude that had the flamethrower. Right?
Yeah, he shoots the actual like cartridge in the back, and he catches on. He catches the blaze, like explodes on his back.
Which the aftermath of that was a little disappointing because he just like kind of caught on fire and then he was dead. I was like, barbecue his ass a little bit. So, of course, John Wick couldn't not stand by, and he gets the villain dude gets on the intercom and is like, "Oh, he turned on us. They're all tired." And he shoots the speaker. I thought that was hilarious. So then we get my favorite part of this movie, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. This was my favorite part of this movie. I knew that Keanu Reeves would not only get, his only scene in this movie would not be fighting Eve, and then that's it. Nah. We were going to get a full-blown John Wick action sequence. I loved it. I fucking loved it so much because he shoots the speaker and I'm like, oh, it's so on site. It's not even funny.
Man, talking about taking people out. Two people call up and says, yo, we can't do it. It's John Wick. It's suicide. They say, bro, he's one guy, and they immediately get taken out one by one. It's like, yeah, you guys had no chance. No chance, guys.
Listen, some people might say,
should listen to your buddy.
Some people might say the action sequence was a little quick.
It was quick.
It's just the fact that he fucking obliterated everybody in 30 seconds. It's not a matter. Well, yeah, of course I wanted more, but I'll take it being quick for the sake that he killed everybody quickly versus, it was just like he killed 2 people and that was it. No, he killed like 10 people in a matter of seconds, and I understood why, and I'm not complaining. That shit was fucking awesome. I was like, yes, thank you so much. So, Eve ends up chasing down the villain, and he has the kid, Norman Reedus' kid, which, hand over fist, I swear to God, I forgot he even had this kid. I'm so serious. When that kid popped out of the car, I was like, oh yeah, this was a thing. This is the plot of this movie, I guess. And that's another thing that kind of bummed me about this movie is that it feels like it has 2 things that could kind of drive the movie and be its own story, but it just doesn't. Like you have the whole training thing, and then they abandon it, and then you tell me, oh yeah, she's got to go get this kid now, but they don't really put any emphasis on that. They have the kid get kidnapped, and then I feel like other than a couple scenes here and there, we don't see the kid really ever again.
Yeah.
And that's why when the kid pops out of the car, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a thing. He spews some bullshit, and eventually she ends up killing him. And I guess before this, the villain called the lady and was like, "Yeah, he went against us. He's not helping us anymore." Which, whatever. So they reveal that Norman Reedus was still alive. Eve brings the kid back to him, and then we end the scene. She is in an opera or whatever, and she gets a message on her phone that she has a contract on her for $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well,
all right,
I saw this one.
I'm ready for it.
Which, on the one hand, I'm excited for another movie, but on the other hand,
we're doing John Wick Chapter 2 now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. John Wick Chapter 2 all over again.
I hope they change it, because honestly, if they just take the blueprint but then switch up the scenarios or whatever, I'd be fine with that. Hell, listen, truth be told, I feel like them taking the blueprint of John Wick Chapter 2, changing up the action sequences and stuff like that is better than what they tried doing in this movie. I feel like they tried doing way too much in this movie and way too little somehow at the same time. Yeah. And because of that, the story is just very blah. If you just take the foundation of Chapter 2 and just make it that they go to a whole other world country, make it so distant that it's it feel kind of like when they went to Osaka in Chapter 4. Mm-hmm. It was it felt so different because we'd never been to somewhere like Japan in this franchise before.
Yeah, go somewhere like Australia or something.
Australia, Ireland, India,
Alaska.
Yeah, go all out with it, But the idea of them doing it to where she's got a bounty on her head, I'm cool with that. If Norman Reedus comes back, I don't know, because he's still got business with him. Truth be told, they kind of set up a spinoff with him. I don't know if they're going to do that. The idea of them doing more spinoffs in the John Wick franchise, I'm fine with. It's just the ideas sound more interesting until you start thinking about them as full-length movies. Yeah. So,
and also, do you keep them where there's a way you can bring John Wick into it? Because I think
we don't need that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I
definitely
don't want that. I want these to be standalone stories where you don't need to bring someone like him into it. Bring the other characters, but you don't need to bring that guy into the movies.
That's sorry. Like I said before when we started, I felt like the whole John Wick inclusion felt a little bit just shoehorned in. He obviously is John Wick. He's gonna have very good sequences, but I'm just we don't really need you in this movie.
I mean, he's already an overpowered character. We know he's not going to lose.
Well, no, but we do, because the marketing for this movie was absolute ass, and it underperformed severely this weekend. So what did they do? Put him on the poster.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them for, because truthfully, a John Wick spit, nobody watched the fucking Continental. I didn't finish it. For one, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I heard it was terrible.
Two, you're selling a spin-off of anything popular. It's hard. Yeah. It's a hard sell. So sure. I can't really blame them for putting John Wick in this movie.
I can't either. I mean,
when they make the Donnie Yen movie, sure, people like us, we're gonna go see the Donnie Yen movie. It's fucking Donnie Yen directing a action movie where he's the lead role. That shit is gonna be fucking raw. That has potential to be the best John Wick movie if they fucking lock in properly. Mm-hmm. But they're gonna see this. They're gonna be, oh, Kane from the world of John Wick. From what? What the fuck? What is this? Like I said, my ideal other movie from this franchise that I want to see, give me the prequel where he gets out. The unthinkable thing that they talked about for 4 movies. Give it to me. That's what I want. I want to see that, bro. If you just give me that, his story from that prequel until chapter 4, assuming he remains dead, that's complete. It's
Right.
done. That's perfect to me. Or give me a see, they could do a movie about Halle Berry's character and he could be in it because she says, "You did something to help my daughter get out."
Right.
That would be a natural way for him to be in that movie. You know, I'd be fine with that. But they want to do what they want to do, I'm interested in a Kane movie, Donnie Yen, but not really. Like I said, my ideal continuation is give me the prequel of him getting out. That's
Yeah.
really the only thing. Everything else I kind of don't care for,
For sure.
including this fifth thing. But the movie Ballerina, I liked it a lot. It wasn't perfect, but I think hopefully Lionsgate does not look at the box office and think, oh, nobody wants to see Ana de Armas. That's the last thing they need to be thinking, because everyone came out of this movie saying she was amazing. So I really
also she doesn't have a great track record either. I mean, with the movie she's been in either as well. I mean, the movie she starred in, doesn't have a really good track record.
What do you mean?
Talking about films, most of her films are not very good.
Yeah, but in the last 5 or so years, they've been great. And that's really what most people think of.
I mean, what was the last thing she was in that was considered great?
No Time to Die.
Yeah, she had a very small role in that. I'm talking about things that she's led in.
Knives Out.
That was 5 years ago.
She was still the lead. You asked me, and I told you.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I can name 2-3 movies off the top of my head right now that weren't very good.
I don't know. The point is, everyone can't. She was in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
8 years ago.
Right.
And she was in Blonde, even though people said the movie wasn't great. They said she was great in it.
People don't like Blonde. People didn't like she had that movie with Chris Evans, Ghosted. People didn't like The Gray Man. I mean, I like The Gray Man. People didn't like that movie either. People didn't like what's the one she did with Ben Affleck? People hated that movie. I forgot what that one was called, but she did something with Ben Affleck where she's like, I forgot what it's called, but
Ben Affleck.
Yeah. I think it's like Deep Water or something like that. It's some water, something like that. I forgot.
Oh yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. I heard it was terrible. So she doesn't have a really good track record with the role she's been picking. So I mean, a lot of people don't even know really who she really is either. So
I don't know. Like I said, I hope Lionsgate pays attention to the
the critics and
the actual word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because people want to see a sequel with her in it. And people like her very much.
I definitely do.
Even if they don't do a full-fledged sequel, bring her back in some capacity.
Yeah.
Please don't let this be a one-off for her. She does not deserve that at all.
No, for sure. I mean, she was. Trust me. I'm probably more of a fan of her than anyone else, but I think she deserves a franchise like this because she clearly with this movie she can deliver. You give her with the right team and the right people, she can do this. I mean, No Time to Die, I think, proved that as well. She handled that scene very well with Daniel Craig. I think she was great in that scene. But yeah,
I don't have any other thoughts on the movie though.
I don't either. I really enjoyed it. I'm ready for the 4K. Ready for that steelbook. So yeah, if you guys seen Ballerina, spoil it away in the comment section below. Let us know what you guys thought about it. What's your favorite scenes, favorite moments? My favorite moment probably out of the movie is the flamethrower scene. I thought that whole sequence was just awesome. The fact that they're doing like a cover, like how you play a video game and you're doing like you're hiding behind the car and like you're trying to shoot every single time when you see the person. I just thought that was hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite moment in the movie. Let's go ahead and move on to our final topic: physical media. You got any physical media, Tyler?
Nope.
I got one thing, just one thing. Physical media has been very slow.
Yes, it has.
I picked up Lean on Me on Blu-ray. If you guys have not seen Lean on Me, definitely check it out. It's Morgan Freeman. He plays a principal and he has to fix up a school. And it's really good. They finally released a Blu-ray from Warner Archive, and I'm very happy to have it on Blu-ray. This is one I've been asking for a long time, so I'm just scratching off the list of movies that I've been wanting on Blu-ray, and I got another one, which is awesome. So that's the only thing I picked up. Updates.
So after tonight, we will be taking not full week break, but we will be taking a break because me and Kevin will be in Orlando next week, partying it up in Universal Studios. I'm very
A-holes.
excited about that.
A-holes.
You could come if you want. Cough up $1,300. You could come.
A-holes.
We'll be in Universal Studios going to the new Epic Universe, assuming we can get inside. Fucking wait times.
A-holes.
So we will not be doing Nerd Talk until next Sunday, where me and AJ will be doing a watch along for Megan in anticipation for Megan 2.0. Very excited. Very excited.
It looks trash. I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
I see that trailer. I say it looks trash, bro.
I'm happy for you. I think it looks fun. And then we'll be back next Wednesday, not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, doing a watch on for Top Gun Maverick in anticipation for F1, which I've heard is very good. So I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for F1. Right now, it's my most anticipated movie that's coming out right now. I'm excited for F1.
I want to watch Top Gun Maverick now.
Well, you gotta wait 2 weeks.
I'm gonna watch it before for sure.
But also for me, I posted a review for Ballerina on my page. Also, I posted a review for the new Predator movie, Predator Killer of Killers, which I fucking absolutely loved. I will have a review for How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, probably Friday morning, I want to say. And then next week, I'll probably work on those tonight. I'll probably have reviews out for 28 days and weeks later, in the situation for 28 years later, which comes out next week. I may or may not have a review out for the weekend. I don't know. Depends on if I can squeeze in some review time, while we're on vacation. Who knows? I don't really want to work on vacation, but we'll see. But yeah, that's really all for me.
I got no updates. Nothing going on over here. Physical media's been slow, so that's why I've not went out and made no Blu-ray Hunt videos. It's been very slow. And I'm looking forward to nothing. I mean, I don't even know what's coming out next week. I don't know what's coming out the week before. I know Sinners is coming out next couple of weeks. I'll probably be definitely getting that for sure, even though
they released. I don't think they released it, but I know it came out with that musical sequence for I forgot his character's name, but in Sinners, where they were going through all the different eras of black music, and I love that scene, bro. That might be top scene of the year, honestly. Right now, just seeing that scene again was just amazing.
Yeah, I'm ready for that 4K for sure. Getting the steelbook, I think I'm getting it from Groove, but I'll go out and film, and show it if it's in stores. But yeah. No updates for me. So hope you guys enjoyed this stream. It's been a short one. The movie was short, not that many topics. But yeah, we go ahead and get out of here. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. Follow everyone on their socials. The link will be in the descriptions below. And hope you guys have a good night. And we're on this one, you guys. Peace out.
We'll be seeing you.